Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Quickly gonna go through a Ramadan planning method, Inshallah, just to help us all attain the maximum benefits and rewards during the month of Ramadan. Now, it is quite important to, whenever we set goals, it is important for us to define the result that we want. What is it that we want to achieve? Why is it important to me to achieve this goal? To be able to have this mindset. What makes it so great? What makes this goal so great that I want to achieve it? I want to be able to dedicate my time during the month of Ramadan to attain it. SubhanAllah, everyone has different reasons, but ultimately, all the believers, all of us, we want Jannah al Firdaus Ala. That's what we want as Muslims, and no Muslim can deny that. Okay, how we get there, Allahul Alam, is everyone has their own ways. So now, when it comes to the beginning of Ramadan, everyone's so happy, so prepared, so much passion, so much zeal, into Ramadan. And that Alhamdulillah, it is here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna, stop eating junk food. I'm gonna stop listening to music. Stop smoking. Stop this. Stop that. But as the days go into Ramadan, third day, fourth day, it's working, and then suddenly, boom, it's a dip. Start smoking again, start eating junk food again, miss Taraweeh again, barely praying the 5 daily salats. So try to avoid overdoing something. If you've never recited the Quran for the past year, don't attempt to recite the whole Quran during the month of Ramadan, because if you haven't read it, you're going to struggle. Okay, so have the intention of completing the Quran, but don't jam too much of it in one go. Avoid temptation to do everything. A lot of people have a lot of different goals. Try to have your own unique goals, something that is, for yourself to achieve, not to show other people, not to be like other people, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge each one of us accordingly to our own deeds, as well as what is within our own realm. That's within our own capacity. And don't analyze too much over the goals that you want to achieve. Get it done. Start with them immediately, because the most important thing is getting down to it and doing it. It's not the planning side, it's getting down and doing it. Taking the action is more important. And remember, this month is yours to benefit from. If you don't, you become the losers. Okay, if you don't benefit from this month, you are surely a loser. And remember the hadith from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went up the member and said three, Amin, Amin, Amin. So, check up the hadith as to why he said that. And subhanAllah, it is sad fact. Sad, and we see it. We see it within our system. Allah give us the hidayah to be able to fulfill the obligations in the month of Ramadan, as well as attaining a clean slate with him. That's the biggest thing. That's the best thing, that we are able to have a clean slate only if he accepts. And why shouldn't he accept? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most merciful, the oft forgiving. So we seek, He will forgive, Insha'Allah. So when you have your results, when you have your goals in front of your mind, we need to be able to connect to them with a purpose. By achieving these goals, how will your life improve? What difference will it have on your life? What kind of impact will it have in your life? And most importantly, why are you doing this, and for whom are you doing this? Okay, is it just purely to get better at becoming more articulate and more knowledgeable, or is it because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking, is commanding, in the Quran, when He said, وَمَا خَلَقْتَ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that He hasn't created us and jinns for no other purpose. It was only to worship Him. إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So let's become those worshippers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to be. And remember, not every person is the same. Some have more knowledge, some are more productive than others. But end of the day, the human process of learning and implementing is the same. It's never different. So once you've connected with the purpose, inshallah, you'll get a bigger buzz. You will feel more connected. Then you can make the list. Okay, so you make the list. It could be anything, but again, personal to yourself, not what others are doing. Okay, so it could be praying sunnah rakats. It could be praying tahajjud on a regular basis. It could be learning new daily du'as. It could be, reciting of the entire Quran, stopping, from listening to haram music. And these days we have, people say, oh, nasheeds, Islamic nasheeds, etc., etc. Wallahi, there isn't anything about these nasheeds been Islamic if they contain music within them. So may Allah protect us from such fitna. One example I'd just like to give is I heard a sheikh say, imagine if the Prophet ﷺ was here amongst us today. Would you take him to a nasheed concert? Would you take the Prophet ﷺ to a nasheed concert? Would you stand there with him in a nasheed concert that has music, when we know it is forbidden for us to listen to and play? May Allah give us the guidance that we need. The ones who produce this Islamic music, as well as those who listen to it. Nasheed in itself isn't haram, as long as there's no music to it, and it's not shirk. Okay. Now, once you've made your list, prioritize it. Don't take too long. Don't overanalyze. Just prioritize in terms of what you want to do. Okay, so based on our list that we had, I've taken down, I've put the three as an example. Praying all sunnah rakats on a daily basis. Complete the recital of the entire Quran during the month of Ramadan, and pray tahajjud on a regular basis. For you, could be different. For someone else, you could put, instead of, for example, if you do sunnah rakats daily anyway, learn new du'as. So anything that is beneficial to you and your individual needs. Now, there's a rule called 80-20 rule. Literally, what it means is, as you can see the example on my screen, if you were to start, if you have 10 goals that you want to achieve, and you start off with 2 or 3, then those 2 or 3 could have an impact on the rest of your goals. Okay, so if you take 2 out of your 10, that's your 20%. Okay, so by taking immediate action on those 2 goals, you will see a massive increase in the other areas of your daily actions. So inshallah, 20% of your goals will always give you an 8% of your results. Okay, 20% of your goals will give you 80% of your results. And it's a tried and tested method, and by Allah, it works. People use it on businesses, people use it on so many different platforms, because it's such a powerful concept. And it's not the rule that makes it powerful, it's applying, it's you and me, it's us applying the time and effort into this rule. Okay, that helps us understand. The rule is there for clarity. Now, we'll take the example of recital of Quran. So, recital, if you want to complete the whole Quran in the month of Ramadan, first day start off by reading a juz, one para. If you can't do that, then reduce it by reading, breaking the number of the page in the Quran, divided by, so for example, the one we use here is 846 pages in the Quran. We divide that by 29 pages, okay, which kind of roughly works out as one juz anyway. Then we further divide the 29 pages by 5 daily salats on daily basis, which gives you 6 pages per salat. So after each salah, you could recite 6 pages of the Quran. If that's too much, then you can recite 3 before salah and 3 after salah. If you're unable to, for example, if you don't have time during Dhuhr because you're at work and you can't recite those 6 pages, then when you come for Asr, recite 6 pages before Asr Salah and 6 after Asr Salah. So you play the catch up, but try to stick to it for at least the first 3 days, and that will help you build into it as well, inshallah ta'ala. Once you get into the swing, within 3-4 days, for example, you do the 6 page after each salah for the Quran recitation. Pick 3 days, start 3 days of the week, for the first week, where you get up for tahajjud to pray tahajjud salah, as well as going into doing the sunnah rakats on a daily basis. So pick what is, if it's 2, like for the example you use is the Quran and the tahajjud. So the Quran you do on a daily basis, and the tahajjud pick 3 days. Within the first 3-4 days, you'll see a difference if you're struggling or not. If it's becoming like a habitual character, with and you're finding it easy, not easy because it's easy, but because you were able to adapt to it. add something else now. You can add something else from your list and slowly, but don't put too much into it. Some people have that, start off with two, three, and they find it easy within 3, 4 days. So they add like another 4 or 5 and implement it. And then within another 3, 4 days, they get stuck and they stop. The whole list just stops. So don't overburden yourself. Do it slowly, add or modify. And then obviously being a month of Ramadan, there's so much additional rewards that we can earn during this month. Subhanallah, it's immense. It is absolutely immense. Okay, so you can seek alternative deeds than your normal practice. So for example, if you don't give charity on a regular basis, and this is not obviously a zakah, but just charity. I mean, it doesn't have to be all financial. Smiling is an act of charity. You know, so if you're a grumpy person for the whole year, the whole year, start smiling. Start smiling and smile to your family, smile to your friends, smile to your neighbors, smile to the local shop owner, the uncle in the masjids. So change in a habit and add a habit as well. Okay, add something to it. It could be physical means in terms of, for example, one of the uncles locally doesn't have a car, doesn't have a means to go to Taraweeh. Why don't you take him to Taraweeh if you have a car? Take him with you to Taraweeh. If your friends want to go with you to Taraweeh, make a space for this old elderly uncle. And because you're taking him to Taraweeh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you immense rewards for that. By taking another one, another soul, another slave. And it is a dua of these people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts. Okay? Spirit, I mean, monetary could be, giving out money, or even giving iftar in the masjid once a week, you know, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. You can give however much you can physically afford or financially afford for yourself. Okay, without obviously overstretching, overburdening again. Now, always try to finish on a high note. Ramadan is, I say, the whole month is such a blessing, and there's so many rewards that can be attained and should be attained. Okay, should be attained. Now, the night of power, unfortunately, it's really sad because a lot of Muslims miss out on the virtues behind it. A lot of, especially I noticed in our locality, 27th night, the masjids, all three massages are packed, absolutely packed out, because everyone's there. Everyone is there on the 27th night. And I just think to myself, what about the 21st night, the 23rd, the 25th, what even the 29th, the night before Eid? What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what if the night of power is within those nights? How sad would we be for missing it? Because we believe, there's nothing set on stone about this night. Hence the reason we should seek for it for the whole month, especially in the last 10 nights. Last 10 nights. So, and during this night, last 10 days, don't follow the crowd. Do itikaf if you can. Do itikaf, and has such a blessing and hidden blessings in itikaf. You learn something. You can actually physically implement new changes and lasting changes that will benefit you in the long run. And then obviously also make a dua list. Make a dua list. This is something I've learned from, and I've implemented when I first heard it from Sheikh Muhammad al-Sharif. May Allah give him long life and preserve him for the sake of the Ummah. When I first heard about this dua list, I was like, whoa, it is. And until you try it, you you will not understand the benefit. You will not understand the benefit. I mean, I use this even on a normal month and a normal day. But when it comes to Ramadan, subhanallah, it is absolutely powerful. I mean, I put 5 to 10, for example, just to show as an example. You can have as many as you want. Dua can be as long as you want it, and you just prioritize what you want. You can ask for things in dunya, which will benefit you, but don't be disappointed and disheartened if Allah doesn't give it to you, because what you're asking for may be on the long run harmful to you, and Allah knows best. So always be patient in that, and obviously never ask for anything that's haram. Okay, but seriously, ask Allah for these and worship Him on the last 10 nights immensely. You do not want to miss the night of power. It is where, this month is the month of Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the opportunity How many years, we've been alive? If last year was not as productive, then make this year, this Ramadan, more productive. Make it more emotional. Make it more, you know, empowering for yourself, for your family, for the community. Even on a monthly basis, during the month, organize a charity iftar. Charity iftar where you can generate money and give to the poor abroad. And alhamdulillah, there's so many communities that do it, so many charity companies out there, but the need is ever growing. The need for this kind of events and fundraising is ever growing. So it could be inside the masjid, it could be in a community center, wherever it's feasible. Do something like that, which would help you as an extra deed. So I hope and I pray that if from the short space of time I've just presented, I really pray that there was some benefits which you can take, adapt, and implement. Um, if I said anything incorrect, may Allah forgive me, and make dua for myself, for my family, for the ummah, and that Allah gives us the opportunity to be amongst all the others during this Ramadan, and that we are able to fulfill and maximize the deeds during the month of Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. And if you do want to find out about me, you can go. I set up this website, coachabuzahara.com. It doesn't have much on there at the moment, but a few articles which I hope you visit and have read and send me feedback. Go to Facebook. I'm sure most of you have Facebook, forward slash facebook.com forward slash Coach Abu Zahra. You'll find my like page there. You can tweet me at Coach Abu Zahra, or an email address, coachabuzahra at gmail.com. So, do get in touch if there's anything that you want to suggest. Criticism, also constructive criticism, by all means. I love hearing from people. Inshallah, those obviously who know about me, I will be delivering that planned webinar, inshallah, after Ramadan. So until then, and until you hear from me again soon, take care, be safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.